Yeah, back in August, I announced my candidacy for sheriff. At that particular time, I'd already been to the FBI. I was deemed the whistleblower for the LA County Sheriff's Department that reported the corruption that occurred in Men's Central Jail, the beating of inmates purposely to break a bone as an initiation for these rogue gang deputies. Um, it was something I needed to do, and being the whistleblower on this, I would do it again. I put my head on a pillow at night and I can sleep softly. I don't have a problem. But the day I announced, the next day, Paul Tanaka announced he was running for sheriff. And when he announced he was running for sheriff, Gene Mattis from LA Weekly walked up to him and put a microphone in front of him and said, "Hey, Paul, this is going to be a great race. I go, you got the Lee Baca, Bob Olmsted, and yourself now. What do you think of Bob Olmsted?" And he said, "You know, I was not raised to be a whistleblower," referring to me. And if you just allow that to resonate for a minute, I was not allowed to be a whistleblower. That coming from the #2 man of the LA County Sheriff's Department, permeated all the way down through the organization, telling everybody in every rank, do not report injustice, do not report criminal activity. That's uncalled for, that's atrocious, and that's immoral. That's the kind of leader we do not need for LA County Sheriff's Department. But I can go on. At one time, Paul said that internal affairs, which is a very critical element for the LA County Sheriff's Department, or any law enforcement in general, he said that if I had 50 internal affairs investigators, that's 49 too many. Paul was very big at talking about the gray zone and work in the gray zone. Let me just preface by saying I also taught college for over 20 years. And I taught a variety of criminal justice courses. And in the courses that I'm talking about and teaching, never, ever was there anything written in there for a law enforcement officer to work a gray zone area. What Paul Tanaka was referring to is work in the gray zone is push the envelope of legality and do whatever it takes to put a bad guy in jail for the right reasons, because that's where a bad guy needs to be. So work those areas very very close to the limit. Well, if you explain that to a young deputy, they're going to say, I need to do whatever it takes to make my boss happy, and I'm going to have to take everybody to jail that I can, because that's what work in the gray zone means. To me, that is just bad verbiage, bad leadership, and just, again, atrocious to what Paul's done on that. We cannot work the gray area. There is no legal term of gray area definition, none whatsoever. Matter of fact, every time he made these particular statements, he purposely insisted that any recording equipment was turned off. That, by its very nature, tells me that there's something wrong with a statement and how he wants to say it if he orders all the cameras and audio equipment to be turned off, because the message is not appropriate. And the last thing is, Paul's got a tattoo on his ankle of a Linwood Viking. The Vikings were a group of deputies out of Linwood Station, and they were involved in a shooting a number of years ago, which led to the death of a Korean gentleman. He was shot 9 times in the back. It was witnessed by 2 Long Beach police officers who, at the time and in court testimony, said, "We just witnessed the sheriff's department murder this guy." The judge in this particular trial had indicated that, based on the bad practices and inappropriateness and the culture of the Linwood Station at the time, that these Vikings were a neo-Nazi racist group. And Paul Tanaka still has this tattoo on his ankle today. He got this tattoo as a sergeant, and he was promoted all the way up the rank. The internal culture and the corruption of promoting somebody who is the antithesis or the opposite of goodness, and promote them all the way to the rank, the highest rank in the LA County Sheriff's Department, second highest, is absolutely atrocious by Lee Baca. This is not the core values that we emanate. This is not the values of the LA County Sheriff's Department. This is not the values the citizens of Los Angeles County want. And this is not what we need. Paul Tanaka should not be sheriff. He just does not exhibit the leadership characteristics, the moral behaviors, and the consistencies of what a good leader should stand for. My pathway to reform is my roadmap. You can find it on my website, bobolmsted.com, and it's a 17-page comprehensive document. That and other aspects that need to be looked at on the LA County Sheriff's Department.